We have a special voice joining us right here in the studios. The ever popular ace stock picker Porinju Veliyath is here with us on our show today in the studio. Porinju, good evening. Thanks a lot for your time.
Good evening, Ajay.
Well, you know, I was just telling Tanya, I remember the first time we met about 10 years back. At that time, your PMS was just starting off and was, say, sub 100 crore, a double-digit number, and now we are meeting today when the market is at record high, and your PMS is 1,000 crore in AUM. How has the journey been, and what kind of CAGR you've returned in that period?
You're right. It was some 60-70 crores when we met long back, and you know, markets were stagnant. It was very difficult to collect funds or manage funds that time. I would say the last 3 years was the game changer in the whole thing, and thanks to Narendra Modi. That's what I feel. It's not only about, you know, we had the 90% growth. We are operating now last 14 years. The 90% of the growth in the AUM happened in the last 3 years. And I would say it was because of my multi-bagger pick. And the multi-bagger pick was Narendra Modi in 2013, before the elections. I identified him as one of the best multi-baggers for India. You know, irrespective of any politics or anything. I don't have any political lineage that way. So I feel that was the base. So when you have a base, you have confidence. The small silly things happening in the world or in our border, like it won't affect you. So those things will become very positive as an event. You can pick stocks that time, like we had last 3-4 days. And you see ultimately what happened in the last 3-4 days, you know, we had 5 days of panic, and today market at the Sensex close to the historic high.
Yes. Correct.
So that is the structure of India even going forward. So I'm seeing next 2 years or next 7 years, you know, stock pickers will be making huge money. Now coming back to the AUM, it's very exciting to me. For Equity Intelligence, we are a very small firm with 13-14 people working, and this was totally unexpected, to be very frank. But the confidence we built with that base and our outlook on the economy and the markets going forward, which is still on, we have a long way to go. So I am extremely excited even looking at the future.
Porinju, 1,000 crore is no mean feat. And I remember the last time we chatted, you know, you were really emphasizing about how the domestic investors have really kept the faith. Is that what really worked, you think, also for for your own PMS? Because the fact remains that, you know, in some time perhaps you will see heightened domestic participation. Demonetization for one perhaps is the reason why we are seeing so many people now flock to the market.
Yeah, there are various aspects to this element. One is of course demonetization and the related things. Demonetization, cannot see it as a single incident. Now the GST is another part of it. No government need to take credit for that, but you know, something is going to be a sea change for the economy. As we have been talking about, you know, from black to white, from unorganized to organized. You know, this is a never before kind of a change, structural change happening in the economy. Those who really understand it make money. They won't get perturbed, you know, they won't be shocked to see some small irritation at the LOC or something happening in China or the president election in America. These all are very silly things if you have the big picture with you about India and you are investing in Indian equities, Indian businesses. So people should see that, and people don't learn from the history. This is something amazing. See how many opportunities we had in the past. Where there was some absolute depression and people all sell off shares. So many incidents, including the RBI governor when he was out. People were selling off shares. I don't know, this is like very rational. So that's what I'm telling, the big picture should be always there with the investors in the background. So you will tend to do less mistakes.
Porinju, you know, in the last 3 years, as you said, was a game changer for your own fund as well as for the market. Someone who is watching this show right now, if one has to approach the market right now, it also is fraught with risk because small and mid cap has already got massively, the run up is there behind them. What should the approach be? How do you think next 2-3 years would be, and how should one be approaching the market right now?
Indian market today is, even going by the valuation, it is a comfortable zone for me.
Okay.
And when you try to get insights into the future, how the economy is taking shape, how these companies are going to grow and the earnings potential of these companies, I feel it is cheap. That is why in our last interaction, I think with Nikunj, I was telling, the markets are at the bottom. This is what I feel. When you look forward, if markets are at the peak when you see last 5 years. For the next 5 years, markets are at the bottom. I don't really mean 100, 200 points can move here and there. That I don't know about that. It's not important. So, so investors should stay invested. I remember talking about $100 billion domestic, the household savings coming into equities. I really mean that. Not exactly 100 billion. I don't know how big it is. Maybe 5-6 lakh crores. This is not just DII net flow I am talking about. I am talking about the way households will be acquiring shares instead of bank deposits, real estate and gold. You know, money, Indian households we are one of the best savers in the world. So you cannot underestimate that. There is a huge potential. So 100 billion is not a big amount that especially the middle class and lower middle class Indian households can pump into equities. So that's a technical factor. But it's not only a technical factor. This money will, you know, it will create more capital formation, and that will help these companies to grow faster. The deleveraging will happen. There will be more profitability. So it's a cycle. So everything is looking very bullish in the given environment today.
Okay, so let me ask you something. You know, your reputation precedes you, and Porinju, oftentimes, you know, you're known as somebody who picked the right the mid cap or the small cap company. I want to ask you what your take is on large caps, and I'm saying that because of late, look at a Reliance Industries, look at a ICICI Bank, look at the kind of move you saw on L&T. Do you think that finally we're going to see some of these large caps also have a sort of breakout and do some of the heavy lifting for, you know,
in fact, Tanya, you know, if you look at the analyze of his own portfolio, stocks like Biocon, Jubilant, Balaji, big ones have actually moved quite a lot. Whereas the reputation is that you only buy small
A lot of people misunderstand I am a penny stock picker.
No, I didn't say penny, I said middle small. I didn't say
in fact, our average market capitalization of our holdings is 3,500 crores. So there are some large cap companies too.
Okay.
And sometimes I used to buy personally some very small companies taking a risk of it. So luckily some 90% of that is going right. And that I am betting because I have been always talking on ET Now. See the turnarounds happening in this country. This is a once in lifetime opportunity where the promoters are changing their attitude or they are forced to change. No, not allowing themselves to siphon off money and creating black money and assets for their family. They have to now create wealth only through the market capitalization. So that will benefit the minority shareholders.
No, but what I'm asking you is that is there money to be made on some of these blue chips, you know, that we've seen? I mean, but would you bet on them?
I did recently, not in PMS. I was even suggesting at 900 levels Reliance Industries.
Okay.
That was the second largest at that point of time. So it's not that I'm averse to a large cap. To be very frank, Tanya, I don't think about the cap of the stocks. I'm looking at value. So in search of value, traditionally, normally I have been ending up with mid caps or some large small caps. That's where the best of money could be made. And that is the history, and even in the future, I feel investors should not ignore companies because they are small. Because the small companies and some smaller mid-cap companies, they will be in that category of what I used to talk, you know, even chore managements turning around. They are forced to become good promoters, good management, taking care of the minority shareholders, paying dividends, stopping siphoning of money. So those kind of, and people are already building. I'm telling you, I was staying in St. Regis yesterday midnight. A promoter came to meet me. It's a 5,000 crores company, but it's a small cap stock. Because the market cap is very small because of various reasons. A lot of that 5,000 crores is commodity. So I could feel from, you know, he want to change. He was after me for a meeting last few days. So when he came to, I'm coming in Cochin, I mean to Mumbai, he wanted to meet me. So there is an urge from all these traditionally family managed companies, the promoters. They want to change. They also want to go professional. They also want to grow like a Kotak or like a Marico. You know, they were all very small, if you remember.
They want to capture the value actually on the books and via market cap. Right. Porinju, also you're coming at a time when Modi government is finishing 3 years in office. It's coinciding with market at record high. You've been talking about the leadership for 2013 onwards. What do you make of it for the work done so far as a market participant? Because after all the work of reforms does get impacted in the market as well. And in that light, the remaining 2 years of this term.
Yeah, remaining 7 years. I don't believe it's 2 years. This is my hope.
Yeah.
Because I love India. I want to see India progressing, especially the economy. I want to see the 500 million, the 50 crore poor people in this country, their life getting transformed, becoming comfortable in life. So that's why I talked, I hope that this kind of a management of the economy by politicians to continue for at least next 7 years. We are going to places. So this last 3 years, it was an amazing period for Indian economy, for investors. Now the viewers, I'm telling you, a lot of them, if they introspect, if there was no Narendra Modi or this kind of a government, this kind of a economic policies in the country, many of them may be feeling, they would have been, their net worth could have been, those who are active in the markets and investors I'm talking about, their net worth could have been 25 or 30, 40% down than today. So that is the extent of wealth creation as happening in this country because of not just one man I am talking about, because of a system which has come, a new system of economy management which is happening with long-term vision, It's not very strong and hard decisions being made where people are suffering in the queue. So this is called a hard decision. No political leaders will take a risk of that.
Sure.
So this is something amazing. So I'm still telling I am not any political party supporter, though I don't like certain parties. It's something amazing happening in this country. I'm telling you, 99% of people are still underestimating this development. This development for me is not a political development; it's an economic development.
So what's on your radar these days in terms of value investing? And there's so much talk about how this market is it's a Teflon market, if I can call it that. Nothing sticks, right? It just sort of continues to just go up. Where are you looking for value? I mean, you mentioned turnaround companies. I know that recently Shalimar Paints was one company that you showed interest in. I think there was another Simcoe.
In fact,
So I mean, of course, these are some of the long-term ideas, but which sector, which theme? Because I know you won't tell us specific
These are
stocks.
some odd companies, some special themes.
Yes.
So that's why I once told there are hundreds of themes. I would say sub-themes in this country.
How do you go about looking for a theme?
I don't look. It comes. If you keep your eyes and ears open, it comes to you.
We're not all that gifted.
No. And again, when you do, investor, typically you want to make a portfolio of 8 or 10 stocks. So maybe you'll be tempted to have 1 or 2 blue chips, well managed, good quality promoters kind of companies. It's very good for the margin of safety. The remaining 7 or 6 or 7 companies, for the next 3 years, we already had 2-3 years. Next 2-3 years, I am telling you, investors should focus on the companies where that structural change happening due to the recent economic developments. When I say the recent economic developments, including the demonetization, the GST is coming up and taking shape, this is all are very, very drastic changes happening, where the black money dealing is going to be tougher.
Right.
See, Tanya, till now, people what average in India, buy a property worth 1 crore rupees. You pay 20 lakhs check to 80 lakhs cash. This used to be, it may not be everywhere like that. I'm telling you, average, has been happening in this country. Today, if Tanya is buying an apartment in Mumbai paying 50% cash, some proposal come, there will be, anybody will be, think twice.
Right.
Be thinking twice. It's not comfortable. You see how the kind of news is happening in the country. The income tax rate, CBI, enforcement. I think this is a very positive economic development again. People will be less corrupt going forward. They will be forced to change to become better human beings.
Sure.
So this will help the economy, the organized economy and the formal economy. So this will have a huge impact in the listed company spaces. That is what our domain is about.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the listed companies are basically, they are doing organized business. Some of them could be siphoning out, have been siphoning off money kind of thing, which is going to change now. So this investors should focus on those companies, and 1 or 2 stocks can go wrong. It is happening to everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And some people may lose 50%, or even if they go wrong in 50% in number of stocks,
The remaining will make
the remaining will make huge wealth.
Yeah.
So that can give 25-30% CAGR. The 5 stocks alone will give for the total amount invested 25-30% CAGR for next at least 5 years time. I am very confident about that. That's the kind of opportunity Indian investors, potential investors sitting on today, and this is not going to end.
Okay.
Some people believe, or maybe market may rise another 1,000 points in Nifty and it will collapse. No. Market is going to sustain. I'm not, and again, looking and focusing on Nifty also is not going to create much wealth. If you see the last 2-3 years.
the big money was actually made in broader markets.
So see, now we had a lot of people are making big money.
Yeah.
And India has, I was discussing with Ajay, we have very large number of smart stock pickers, value investors in this country. Very few of them are known.
We'll get some names from you actually to actually get on the channel as well.
No, I got an opportunity to be on the national media, and so that is, maybe I'm known, but I know a lot of stock pickers smarter than me. And it's not few number, very large. So when there's an opportunity on the macro level in the economy and in stock picking, and fund management is going to be a major industry. It's not about this 5 lakh crores, 10 lakh crores. I'm talking they will go 5-10 fold from here. So the new formats will happen. AIF is something. I am very happy to say today we got a letter of approval for certificate for AIF category 3. So there we have a lot of advantage. We can have a pool account system. We need to keep only one account with the custodian. PMS format has some, you have to keep the assets in each client's individual's account. And mutual fund again, the SIP in which I have been talking about last 2 years ago.
Yes.
If you remember, SIP is going to again a huge game changer. So this the $100 billion, it will have very different kind of pockets for that, formats for that, and this will happen. I have talked 100 billion in the next 18 months time, and I'm very confident about that. So the whole industry, fund management industry, is going to go through a huge uptrend.